Colin,
is it my turn?
take us home.
So, I like science very much. Now, I'm not much of a math guy. I'm not much of a a hard science guy. I understand a little bit of it. I like reading more about it, about the theories. I like chemistry, especially in physics. I think those are very interesting. But I also like astronomy a lot, and I've always been really fascinated by specifically the planets in our solar system. And as you grow up, you're kind of fascinated by them, right? You're kind of fascinated by space and astronauts and all this kind of stuff, space travel. Obviously, we're all kind of nerdy. We like sci-fi a little bit to varying degrees. And so I have a very simple question for you: is like, what's your favorite planet?
Uranus.
Ooh.
Gotta get it out there. Just gotta get it out there.
Goats Uranus.
Mm-hmm.
Earth. We're on it.
Earth?
It
Earth's
supports
like my
life.
least favorite planet.
It supports life. We're on it. It's got nice colors.
Yeah, I gotta give a shout out to Earth too.
Yeah, it's a good place.
It's the most aesthetically pleasing. I think we've got the most
blue and the
variety
green
here.
and the white.
I go close second Mars just because there's
The
so
red
much
planet.
mystique.
I don't like Mars.
Martian
about Mars.
Manhunter's
What's
home.
on Mars? We don't know, right? We just landed
That
there.
face.
We got a
the face on
rover.
Mars. Yeah, we got some rovers on there. We got some satellites. We're sending the suicide mission to Mars, which we talked about.
Well,
in the
we're
right.
not sending it.
Well,
Some-
yeah, a private company is doing it.
Yeah.
Are they
yeah.
actually doing that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Mars. What is it called? Mars 1 or something like that?
I would say Pluto, but
Not anymore now. I know.
You hear about
Poor
Pluto?
Pluto,
That's some
man.
messed up stuff.
Great episode of Nova about Pluto and how it was removed from being a planet.
What really is annoying Saturn with its highfalutin bullshit. I got a ring around me, everybody. Look at me. Do something.
That's so cool.
It's just ironic, though, because but
it gets
4 planets have rings around it, but we just couldn't see them.
Yeah.
Saturn's are so prominent. Jupiter has rings. Uranus has rings, and Neptune has rings, too.
Well, Jupiter's the biggest of all the planets, right?
Yes, by far.
Yeah,
you
shout
can
out
fit
to
all the
Jupiter
other
for
planets in Jupiter. Yeah, big shout out to Jupiter for that.
Big shout out to Jupiter.
Jupiter's might be a failed
Hold it
star.
down.
It might have been a binary system.
I
it
feel
also
like
has the coolest name.
Jupiter, yeah, god of war.
Sounds badass.
What was Jupiter?
No, God of War is Aries.
No, well,
No, Jupiter
there's
was
Roman
a
and
Roman
Greek
god.
gods.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jupiter might
There's
be the
only
god
one
of war.
God of War.
was that
period.
Mars?
All right, let's not get ahead of
Kratos.
ourselves.
Mars might have been the god of war.
Yeah, 'cause
actually,
it's
and
red.
that's what yeah,
Right.
it's a red planet.
Yeah.
Jupiter was what? Ooh, speed. Let's look at this up. This will be fun. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Mercury's the messenger of the gods. That's why. It's
What's
the
your
closest
favorite planet, Colin?
Neptune.
I don't know. Neptune's a good planet. You
It
see,
gets
like
underrated though. Who the fuck?
Dude.
Who cares about Neptune?
Neptune, I remember in high school, I couldn't remember. I named all of them. Couldn't remember Neptune. Started asking all my friends. I'm like, name all the planets. And like 5 people named all of them but Neptune. They were like, oh, shit. I don't know what that last one is. And there you go.
I
That's
gotta
what my
I gotta
very
give a shout
energetic
out.
mother just baked me.
Yeah.
I
I never needed that. It was my what is it? My very
thought it was my very energetic mother just made me.
just
I don't know.
S.
Can we all name them? I don't think I could name all of them.
Oh, no
Mercury,
way.
Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune.
There you go.
That's-
That's exactly what I was going to
And
say.
Corneria.
Mario.
Corneria.
I gotta give a shout out to I liked all the planets for different reasons, right?
Sorry, Jupiter was the Zeus.
So the god of the gods.
He's the god of the gods. Yeah.
That makes sense. Mercury's cool because it's right. It's tiny planet, heavily cratered, very dense, very close to the sun. Barely see it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Venus is interesting because Venus has a runaway. What do they call it?
Bride.
A greenhouse gas. They have like a runaway greenhouse effect.
greenhouse bride.
A lot of problems there, too, though.
Like, so Venus, even though Venus is further away from the sun, is actually much hotter than Mercury because of the runaway greenhouse effect there. Like, that is an example of it's like
The Streisand effect, yeah.
It's also the runaway Streisand effect. Yeah. Earth, obviously, we're here on Earth. Mars is cool because Mars is a parallel to us, and we have like a strange fascination with that planet. I understand that.
With the homie.
We could live there.
Closest, and we haven't gotten to it.
Right.
No, men haven't stepped on it. That's why.
Not yet.
That's why
Soon.
we're super stoked.
Soon. Then we have the Asteroid Belt, which was a planet. Not anymore.
How long does it take to get to Mars?
When was it a planet?
9 months. It was a planet before it was
2-3 years
destroyed.
ago. Oh.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like the asteroid. The asteroids aren't just there for special reasons. It's the same reason why there are rings around the planets because those are
like-
destroyed moons.
Did we ever know it was a planet?
I mean,
It wasn't a planet in our lifetime.
Okay.
No, like billions of years ago.
That'd be
I'm really
awesome to see
stupid,
some
guys.
shit like
Sorry.
that.
We'd die if we saw something like that.
and then we
probably.
come to the gas giants, right? So now the planets are no longer made of rock and mineral. Now they're made of gas. And Jupiter is huge. It's huge, very stately planet with a fucking ton of moons, like 60 moons. And that to me is like awesome
Baller.
on its own. Like,
Come on, that's baller.
Baller.
and it's got its own ring. We didn't know that until we went there with I think Voyager.
So do we need to like redesign what we look at? Like, are all the kids at the science fairs right now really fucking up and not putting rings on Jupiter?
No, because I don't think that's not the red spot is its prominent feature. You want to focus on the red spot.
Of course.
Saturn,
It reminded me of the Death Star growing up.
Jupiter did.
Yeah.
Oh, because of I see. Saturn's cool because of the rings. Obviously, also a ton of moons. Also has Titan, which might be the body other than Earth most likely to support life, which is very cool. Back to Jupiter. Jupiter has what is it? Io, which is the ice planet or the ice moon that they think might have a full ocean underneath it that could support life, which is pretty cool. And
Are we ever going to find life on any of these planets? A microbe?
on
some
planets
stuff?
on our system? Probably not. Maybe Mars. Maybe Titan. Maybe Io. I mean, those are the targets. But there's certainly life in other.
You think there's a lot of hot women on Venus?
No.
None?
Nope.
So why are they from Venus? Why?
It's just an analogy.
Well, who came up with that? Where
The
did that
guy
come
who
from,
wrote the
Colin?
book.
The guy who wrote the book. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Fuck that guy.
That was a big
deal.
book in the 90s.
Looking at some images here.
I'm
of
looking at
planets.
the scale of how big Jupiter is compared to everything else. It's big.
It's huge.
It's not small.
That's why they're saying like so when a star turns on, it gets big enough and hot enough, and some people think that Jupiter was a failed star, like a brown dwarf, right? Like a star that just didn't turn on because if you think about a good example is Tatooine, right? Tatooine's in a binary system, 2 stars, right? And we might
example.
And we might have had a Sirius is a real example, right? Like Sirius is really a binary star.
Yeah, but we all know Tatooine.
Right. So maybe we would have been on a system. And then you get to the blue planets. So like, Uranus is in a nice green, sea green color. What's interesting about Uranus was that there was an ancient collision with another huge body that sent its axis on the side.
I like Tim Kenny when
I can't handle it.
Uranus.
Like, is it Uranus?
Wait, it's Uranus. But
do you think if we had to right now, lives dependent on it, the 4 people at this table would know more about the planets in our real solar system or in Star Wars?
I would know more about the real solar
I
system.
1000% would know more about Star Wars.
I know more about the real
You know about individual planets. Individual
bullshit on
planets,
that
though.
one,
You
Greg.
can't name any of the other. If you could name another, can you name another planet in Tatooine system? Because I can. Can you guys name another planet in that system?
There's another planet in that system?
Yeah, there's other planets. Dantooine is another planet in that system.
Dagobah.
Where's Dagobah?
Dagobah's in the Dagobah system.
Well, that's easily
Uncle
named.
Ben.
Where's Hoth?
Hoth's in another system. Far flung.
Padme.
Padme is a woman.
But
Yeah, so I feel like there's a lot of diversity in the, it's hard for me to pick a planet. I really like Uranus's story, a lot because there's this ancient collision with it. Like Uranus, if you look at the planets that have rings, right?
you're
rings,
killing
I
me
just
over here.
can't do it. Stop saying it.
Uranus. The rings go around like normal, right?
Yeah.
But Uranus's rings go around the other way, vertically. And it's because its axis is actually vertical, so it's actually sticking out. It's because it was knocked really hard by another object. And it's cool that we have
So something big and
The
rock
pure
hard
one.
went into Uranus.
yeah, something really hard went to Uranus. And it's just
And it
cool that
knocked
we
you
have
on your-
all this
it knocked it on
ancient
your
evidence
side.
of all this shit happened, like the asteroid belt being a planet. We know it was, but we've never seen it. It's just cool that the solar system is 5 billion years old, so and the universe is 13 billion years old. So there's all this cool.
That's not fact.
Yeah, it is
Theory.
13.7
Theory.
But there's all this cool evidence of all this cool
5,000.
cosmic shit that happened. And that's what I'm really fascinated by it. It's the same thing with they think that there was a rogue planet that ran into the Earth back in the day that gave us the moon.
Asshole.
And we realized that because the moon is made of the same stuff that the Earth is, and we only knew that when we sent the Apollo astronauts there. And so what they think is I think they call it Theia, I think is the planet that knocked into the Earth, probably disintegrated or kept going out of the system, and then all of the dust went around into a ring and then became the moon. That's why the moon is getting further away by 2 inches every year. Because it's been, it's flinging itself out, technically.
You're blowing my mind right now.
So there's a lot of cool
So you're
stuff.
saying in 50 years we won't have the moon anymore?
No, I'm not saying that.
Everybody quote him.
And what's so funny to me about Pluto is
moon
Pluto's a
won't
cool
go
planet.
away.
Pluto we've never really seen. I mean, Pluto's so small.
Why did Pluto get downgraded from a planet?
So Pluto's a
to
dwarf planet because the definition of planet is that it has to be a large body that clears its orbit, and the orbit of Pluto crosses into the orbit of Neptune. Because you guys remember when you were kids, Pluto was actually closer to the Earth than Neptune was for a while, and then they crossed back over. So because Pluto doesn't have its own elliptical orbit around the sun, but rather crosses into another orbit, it is not a planet. Plus, there are bigger bodies in the outer solar system than Pluto that we just didn't find at the time. Pluto's actually not the biggest dwarf planet.
How many planets do we know about?
Dwarf planets?
Yeah.
I think there's 10 or 12 dwarf planets that are of some significance. There's one in the asteroid belt, too. But you know what
I think they like being called little planets.
little planets. Yeah, little
Natural
planets. But what's so funny to me is that in 2005 we sent this before Pluto was downgraded and before everyone stopped giving a shit about Pluto. We sent New Horizons, which is a probe like to Pluto because Pluto's so tiny. Pluto's like the size of the moon. Well, we've never really seen it. When you ever look at pictures of it, it's like 2 pixels.
Yeah.
And like we don't really know anything about it. Charon or Charon, depending on how you say it, is its moon, and we've never seen it either. We just know it's there because of like the way the planet wobbles, and in fact, they wobble around each other around a point in the middle, which means that one and the other are like not that much different in size. They actually like rotate around the center space.
What's the center space? Is that another planet?
No, it's just like the point in between them, like a center of point in gravity. But what's funny is that New Horizons is still going to Pluto, and it arrives next year.
Really?
And that's like what's so cool is like we're finally gonna see this fucking planet. You know, like I'm really excited about it.
What if we get there and you see cities?
What propulsion do they use to get something that far out in space? Is it solar?
Yeah, it's solar, but like they use what they call gravity assist. So like they'll send. I think with New Horizons they actually sent it into the inner solar system, and then it like swings around, like it'll swing around Venus and like get a gravity assist and shoot.
It's like Angry Birds space.
I was gonna go Star Trek where they go back in time to save the whales, but
One or the other.
Angry Bird space is fine.
So anyway, I just want to talk a little about the planets.
I like
Give
that.
a shout out.
That
to
was
the planets.
insane.
Are you watching the Cosmos?
The amount of
Yes.
facts and names.
Should I watch the Cosmos?
Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson's fucking awesome.
He seems like a badass.
I have such a crush on him, man. I really do. Like he's so fucking smart. Like I love listening to him talk. And did you watch Carl Sagan's Cosmos, right?
I tried to. It's a little dated.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good though, dude.
It's
like,
really
Scientists
dated,
say
though.
we'll never know what happens on the moon.
That's not that dated.
But
It's really hippy
but it's cool
dippy.
because it's not only about the planets in space, it's about life and like where life comes from. And the last episode was really cool. A lot of it was about dogs and like the diversity of dogs and how the diversity of dogs that we found are only like 25,000 years old or something like that. Like not old at all. Like the wolf was 25,000 years old, and then Portillo is today. And like everything that happened in between with dogs, between like wolves and now, are like happened in that short time period, based on forced evolution.
But
And they're talking about natural selection, about how this happens naturally over longer periods of time. It's a very fascinating show.
That's fucking
I gotta
crazy.
start watching it.
Wait, so like dogs, like I know dogs. So not wolves, not crazy stuff. Just normal dogs.
like Portillo.
When did those first come?
Like they were domesticated over time. Like what they were basically saying was like during like when Cro-Magnon was like roaming Europe or whatever, they'd have these wolves at bay, and the wolves would be there. It was actually really well, like very eloquently explained. Like where they would say like the wolves like wanted food, they were afraid of fire, for instance, right? So like they would keep them away, but then they would realize that the humans realized, or the Cro-Magnon realized, that they could encourage the wolves to protect them and bark and do all these things if they fed them, and then like created this sort of system where like one is being protected and taken, and the other is being taken care of, and like this caused the rapid domestication of dogs, like from wolves out of nowhere.
Interesting.
And that because they were able to, like, natural selection happens over a huge period of times, like the Galapagos Islands, Galapagos Islands, or like the finches on all these different islands, right? And how like they all have different beaks to deal with different things, wherever that happened naturally over millions of years. But the humans were able to make, because they found like a specific mutation in a wolf, like very quickly, they were able to breed that wolf and keep that mutation, so it wasn't natural at all. So it happened really quickly.
Now, I heard a rumor that the first wolves looked like Portillo. Is that true?
Yeah,
Okay.
certainly did.
They were gigantic Portillos.
They talk,
my God.
one of the things they talked about were polar bears, about like the mutation that inevitably happened when polar bears have white fur, technically clear fur, and like that was
Wait, what?
yeah, and that was technically a mutation. Like that, what they think happened is that there were normal bears, like during the ice age, the ice caps, the ice sheets like went further north and south, so like down to like Washington D.C. or whatever. And they assume that like bears like at some point had a mutation where they were pig, like or what would you call them, albino, and that actually benefited them because the snow like that would guard them as opposed to a black bear on white snow,
Right.
And so that mutation actually stuck, and that is what a polar bear is.
Wait,
It's crazy.
Go back to the clear part.
Yeah, the polar bear's fur I think is technically clear, right?
It's
So
it's
they're
the
hella white?
absence of color.
No, I think it's like translucent.
Like you can see through a strand
So
of their hair.
they look white because they themselves are super white.
I think it's because like you always see them in a white environment. I'll look real quick.
I'm going to.
I see. He's
Are you gonna get it?
it's reflecting.
Oh.
Refracting.
Man.
Science, man. I'm telling you, it's interesting.
Science
stuff.
is cool.
Sometimes
Science, bitches.
I love studying history. I just wish I wasn't so ignorant of the foundation of science, where I could have. I should have paid closer attention to math, because math is the foundation for everything, and like you can't do shit in science without math. Because what a lot of people don't know about me is that when I majored in history, I love history more than anything in the world, and I would have definitely majored in that. But I was really into botany, actually. Like I really loved plants and like all this weird shit. But like you can only go so far with the observation and reading before you really need to get down into the chemistry and the biology and stuff. And I can't do it.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
So, you know, I pay attention to math, kids.
Each hair shaft is pigment-free and transparent with a hollow core that scatters and reflects visible light, much like what happens with ice and snow. So snow obviously is clear because it's just water, but it appears white because it refracts light. Is what they're saying here.
You didn't know that either?
No. I thought snow was white. So was the sky not blue?
Colin, you want to handle that one?
That was a doubt.
The sky only appears blue because of the makeup of the atmosphere.
Fucking science, man. I'm happy
Blows your
there's people
mind.
figuring that shit out for me. Shout out to
Meanwhile,
Bill Nye.
you're debating Carl's Jr.'s
Dude.
double jack cheeseburger.
Yeah.
There are just remarkably smart people out there, man. That like really like. I like reading books about science. Like I think Stephen Hawking's books are really, really, really good. And there's other books. There's a book called The Black Hole War, which is like excellent about the discovery of black holes and all the competing theories and stuff like that. But you could read those books. Those are layman books, and I read them. But man, there's some books that are really technical. I was reading a book about like the nuclear bomb and the Manhattan Project and stuff. They're just getting really into the minutia of math and physics and the particles and the atoms and atomic science, atomic math and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, that's too much for me, man. You know, I wish if I can go back and change something, I wish I paid better attention in math. You know, math
I
and
cheat through
science are what really matter.
Hated math.
Funny, man. Like, I'm so happy I cheated through math because I don't care. Like, that's just so crazy. I'm so happy, Colin,
Yeah, but
that
like-
you exist.
But I'm not one of the people that know it. And like we can say we don't care, but you know who makes all the fucking money? The mathematicians and the scientists. You know, they make all the money. The engineers.
Yeah.
You know, like the people that like computer
But
scientists.
they hate their lives.
No, they don't. I know people that I went to
know, man.
school. I went to college with a bunch of people that majored or are electrical engineers and all that kind of stuff. They are fucking rolling in it, you know, and they're like totally fucking thrilled and happy. I went to school with pharmacists that are making a ton of money. I went to school with like people that really study and really work hard. You know, I loved history because it was interpretive.
See, I know a bunch of pharmacists and doctory type people now, and like
Those
they
are just drug dealers.
they seem to
Or state senators.
to really be happy with that because like I don't know, I guess they feel like that's what they want to do. That's what makes them happy. So that's cool. I've never met someone that likes math
Oh, I know
that's like doing like accounting or something and like or like whatever the hell.
This is the shit.
Happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, I have money.
Accounting's
That
not
makes
real
me
math.
happy. Okay,
The-
then whatever real math is. Fuck those.
Accounting. I remember looking at an accounting textbook in high school when there was like an accounting math class. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like this is
Your debits and your credits.
it's so
Balance
easy.
them out.
Like maybe it gets harder. I'm sure it does, but like it was so easy, like laughably easy.
Well,
Compared
now they
to-
have Excel spreadsheets
Yeah,
that I think
that
pretty much
do the
take
math
care of all
for
of
you.
it.
Quicken books.
Yeah.
Advanced algebra is what did me in.
But
Yeah.
man,
Fuck
like,
you.
Yeah.
Advanced what?
Advanced algebra. Algebra. I'm like, whatevs. And then they're like, oh, here's this advanced shit. And I'm like, damn.
I
done.
somehow went all the way. I think we talked about this before, but I somehow went all the way up to higher math, which was college level math.
like
I have-
calculus.
No, it was I did pre-algebra in the 7th grade, then algebra in 8th,
Yeah.
then pre-calc,
Well, what? That's like a skip and
no
jump.
pre-calculus, calculus, and then we had higher math, which was
Where geometry fall into
I'm sorry, geometry was 7th grade. Geometry.
that? What?
Geometry was 7th grade.
7th grade geometry.
Mm-hmm.
I did geometry in 10th grade.
Yeah, I basically had to cheat. Not cheat, but like my friends helped me all the way through. I was actually in like, I think I was in physics, AP physics, AP biology.
Were you like
two.
Doogie Howser?
No, I had no idea what I was doing. That was the thing that mystifies me. When I think back to my high school career, I have no idea how I had close to a 4.0 grade point average and was like not failing every class. I just had no idea how I passed a higher level college grade math
Well, see,
class.
I feel like in a lot of ways you and me are similar, even if you don't want to admit it.
We are
And
very similar.
I feel like
one of us will destroy the other soon. It'll probably be you, me, because I'm slower and older.
You're really old.
but
I'm like a cage.
we're
bird.
really good at like not actually doing the work, but looking at what work needs to be done and doing that. So like for me, the most work I would ever do in any class was the first week when you get the syllabus and you look at the syllabus and plan out, okay, this is exactly what I need to do to get an A. Guess what? Got a shit ton of A's because that's all I did.
Yeah.
Everyone else stressing out about all the other stuff. I'm like, I just need this. Okay, I'm going to do just this. It was fun.
Yeah, that was not me. I would just
Tim's always
basically
gaming
copy
the
off of Clay Wilkinson's homework.
I had
Shout out to Clay Wilkinson.
Clay Wilkinson used to let me copy off his. At first, he was like, "Stop," and then I was like, "Come on, dude," and he would let me copy.
I didn't know
his
you knew
homework.
him.
Big Clay.
If I was invisible, if I could just
I think that's Clay
walk in-
Atkins.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Clay Aiken. Clay Wilkinson, I believe, is a lawyer now down in Southern California.
Does he sing that song ever?
No, Clay Aiken is running for Congress in South
he really?
Carolina.
What?
Yeah, that's true.
Did that gerbil thing
Apparently,
work
we
out
have
for him?
a. Was there a gerbil thing?
There was a
story.
gerbil incident.
Like a real one, or is
I don't
like
know.
Richard Gere's gerbil incident? That's
I
like
think some guy went up to him
legend.
and was like, okay, would you fuck a gerbil? No, have a gerbil go up your ass. Or, and have no one know about it. Or.
No, this is the goat simulation from earlier today.
Yeah.
On this show.
But see, what works here is this actually happened to Clay Aiken. And he was like, you know what?
This did not happen to Clay Aiken.
This happened to Clay Aiken. And
Thank
he was
you.
like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'll let everyone think it. And that's what happened to his career. So everyone thought he did that with the gerbil.
I think Tim's pulling.
No, do you know what I'm talking about here?
No.
There was a huge thing of like Clay Aiken putting gerbils up his ass.
No, I don't
No,
know.
that's a Richard Gere thing.
Every single time
every generation picks somebody.
someone-
Okay, well, he was picked, and it's not. Hold on, this is a conspiracy here. People aren't just being picked randomly. There was someone giving these people options, and they're choosing the option we talked about earlier.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's what's happening.
Is that someone the devil?
It's a losing game, Colin.
Yeah, well,
I'm telling you, Colin, you got to
It's hard
go.
to
You
find
got to
a winning
stuff the
game.
gerbil up your butt.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's how the Game Over Greggy show works. Four friends come together each week, bringing a random topic to the table. We do one in the very beginning and then make an awkward callback to it in the very last second of the show. If you like that, make sure you like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, share us with your friends. Remember that if you don't want the show broken up, every Friday we post the MP3 version for $1 on GameOverGreggy.bandcamp.com. You get to listen to it however you like. Then over on YouTube the next week, we start parceling it out day by day, topic by topic, until Friday we get to the big show. It's all free there. Don't give us any money. We don't mind. But go buy a t-shirt. Why not? Tim, you like these t-shirts?
I like you said parcel.
Yeah?
That was fun.
Thank you. I'm glad I entertained you.
Yeah, they're fun t-shirts too.
Yeah, exactly. So ladies and gentlemen, until next time, have a great day. Follow us all on Twitter. Go love yourself and your mother.
don't.
What was it? What's the saying?
What? I don't know.
Kick the D.
Nope,
No,
no,
no.
The P.
don't kick the D.
You want to suck the D and kick the P. The Care Bear slogan.
Yeah.
Interpret at your leisure.